Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Tell somebody Blackout Radio was live. We live tonight. Got some good brothers in the house with me tonight. Get some good brothers in the house with me tonight. It's definitely happened tonight. Tell somebody Blackout Radio was live. We about to get started in the next 2 minutes. We got some guests briefly showing up tonight. Going to come in and kick it with me for just a brief time. We're going to do a to be continued. It's good to see everybody tonight, though. Good to be back on Blackout Radio. Blackout Radio was where it's at. Matter of fact, if you're not following the Blackout Radio page, make sure you follow the Blackout Radio page. Go like, subscribe to YouTube and the Blackout Radio page on Facebook. We go live every Wednesday night. We're thinking about changing the time just a little bit. We're gonna change the time just a little bit. We're gonna start at 8 o'clock instead of 7. Make sure you tell somebody Blackout Radio is live. Tag somebody. Tell a friend to share this. This is happening right now. Blackout Radio was live. Let's do it how we normally do it.
Yo, did you see that pink sky yesterday? See that pink sky yesterday?
Crazy.
Sunset. It's a perfect little perch.
Rainy days be the dopest days. Rainy days. Rainy days. Yeah.
Make sure you tell somebody Blackout Radio was live. We live tonight. Shout out to my man Levi.
Yeah.
Always hooking us up on the on a tech tip. Always making it happen. Want to wait till a few of y'all come in. We're gonna start tonight at exactly 8:05. Want to get a few people in here though. Make sure you tell somebody Blackout Radio is live. It's going down. Throw some likes in there. Throw some hearts in there. Let me know that you're here tonight.
Sis, make another one, please.
Every time you hear this song, what do you think about when you hear this song? This has always been a good one.
Yeah. Listen to the bars though.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. That's it.
Oh, you can. Oh.
Thank you.
Tell somebody Blackout Radio was live. Shout out to Marcus Lee coming in here.
But come on, man. We ain't got all day, baby. God damn it.
Somebody said they couldn't hear it. Somebody said they couldn't hear the music. I hope you can hear it now. Shout out to everybody that's coming in here. Marcus, I hope you can hear that, man. We jamming in here tonight.
Jamming, baby.
Shout out to everybody coming into Blackout Radio.
Yeah, not a lot. That rain would be crazy. That rain, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold.
Shout out to everybody coming in here at Blackout Radio. It's good to see everybody. Since we're here, we might as well start the show. Y'all know how we do it. Shout out to everybody. Welcome to Blackout Radio, everybody. If you're new to this platform, make sure you know how you like to subscribe. Exactly where I'm going to go with it.
Beyond that,
Voting absolutely is important. It is important, and I think we only get to see the. If you're not aware, let's invite my guest co-host. We're going to show you this. My boy Juice is here. He's going to shout out to y'all.
Tune into the show if you're ready for these topics. Melly on the mic is no stopping. Have a couple laughs, sometimes they get serious. Say what's on your mind, you can speak up if you're curious. This Blackout Radio, better than your favorite show. They gon' talk about it, that's regardless if you hate it though.
Nah, they ain't ready.
Are you ready for this? Start at 7 on the dot. Are you ready for this? This that Blackout Radio. 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 It's that blackout radio. It's that blackout radio. It's that blackout radio.
Applause for me, man. They always do that for me, Trace.
You deserve it, baby. You deserve it.
Shout out to my man Trace. Tracy Jackson is here tonight, everybody. If you don't know him, you should get to know him. Shout out to my man Trace for coming here. Thanks for showing up to Blackout Radio tonight. It's good to see you.
Pleasure.
It's good to see you.
True pleasure.
This is your first time at Blackout Radio.
My first time in this building, baby. You know what I mean? I know VIP, they wouldn't let me in the building, baby.
They would let you in here?
Man,
They was gonna let you in here. What you thought?
honestly, they give me, they go off the red carpet for me.
That's what's up, man. It's good to see you in here tonight, man. It's we got a lot of issues that we want to talk about tonight. But first and foremost, we always got to get into it. Shout out to Kingdom Minded Business, Kingdom Minded Media for all your media needs. Make sure you reach out to Kingdom Minded Media. We're gonna do some let's do some custodial work here. Make sure if you like Blackout Radio, make sure you go like and subscribe to Blackout Radio tonight. Make sure that you're following the Facebook. Make sure you follow the Instagram. Make sure you're following the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following the YouTube channel. Blackout Radio is here tonight, and we're going to make sure that we support our own Black business. Shout out going out to my man Levi Hodges at www.kingdommindedmedia.com. You can reach him at 914-236-9961. That's 914-236-9961. Also, we got another guest in the building with us tonight. I want to welcome to the show my boy, my man, your friend, our friend, a native of this here community, this city, my man Malik Turner. Shout out to you, Malik. What's up?
What's up, baby? How you?
Good, man. It's good to have you here in the building with us just for a few minutes. I know y'all said y'all had to run. Y'all had to get up out of here, but I wanted to touch on a few topics before you leave. Just to be clear, this is a to be continue, right?
Definitely.
So that means y'all coming back.
Without a doubt.
Left something.
Be clear that my man Tracy has got to be the cooler. He's cooler than the other side of the pillow. You know what I'm saying? So listen, we've actually sitting here chopping it up just for a few minutes, and there's a few things that cross my mind. We have a few topics tonight we're gonna get into after you guys after your departure, but tonight we're gonna get into a few topics. I want you guys to call up tonight. It's gonna be a very interesting show. We're gonna talk about non-binary, and transgender athletes. Now, you guys don't got to get into that, all right? But however, I want us to be able to get into it as a community. One of the things about this platform is that we always get into it and topics that we as a Black people should be talking about, that we just don't talk about. There's a lot of stigmas in the Black community, like Black people don't go to the doctors. I don't know why, but there are certain things that in this community that we need to have a discussion about. But I'm happy you guys are here tonight. Recently in our city, if you're not from New Rochelle, you're missing out. But if you are from New Rochelle, then you have to know these two brothers right here. Two brothers are influential in our community. They are, can I say pillars? It's two.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all not a pillar. I can't say pillars. Okay, so what can I say?
What's the definition of pillar?
You're a staple here in this community.
Yeah, we're here.
I think of myself as a state.
Yeah.
Pillars, you sound like that.
One of the biggest things I got from you is that you got sweat equity here. When you said that statement, you're a pillar. Yeah.
That's the qualification.
Well, we young pillars.
Okay, listen.
I think
that's what you
I think at some point where we have to hold the structure up, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
I think there's some elders here that we still need to gather some strength from to be able to hold up the foundation like a pillar. So that's what a pillar is. It's the foundation, and we're middle-aged men.
Pillar, something that upholds. Yeah, like if I was diagnosed,
I don't.
Pull that mic to you.
And I don't see myself that as yet. Maybe a young pillar, because I'm still learning, learning this community, learning this city again, from being disconnected for so many years. But it serves a lot of purpose for me, in at least what I do or try to attempt to do in this community with our youth, with football, with my theater program. Topics like Mr. Hollis is having, trying to be more engaged in these discussions, which is very healthy. Even the tough discussions, the unhealthy discussions or
Yeah.
necessary discussions.
And it is the tough discussion that we got to have though
That's
with
the
our
ones that
community.
we need to be had.
It's the tough ones we got to have with our community.
Is it? I'm trying to figure out why nobody is concerned about the amount of black men that was killed by the black men over the last. I'm talking about yesterday. I'm talking about the last 40 years. There's been a lot of us. We feel like they're literally eating each other. And that's just a quick question: How do I go to war with these guys?
Make sure you put your mic up so people can
How do
hear
I
you.
go to war? With
Is that
these
mic on?
guys? Yeah, tap.
Make sure it's on. It might be off. There it is. I think you turned it on.
Look.
There you go. There you
How
go.
do you go to war with these guys, right?
Yeah.
But then you're infighting with yourself. So you're killing yourself at the same time you're trying to fight a war outside the invaders. Like, how does that work?
Well, listen. Okay.
And then let me ask you a question. Then why is it like that's a real thing? Like our young men are really like gunning each other down. That is a real problem, man.
So-
that is a real problem.
Okay. All right. Hold it. Before we get there, let me just say this.
All over the country.
That
Black
is.
America, across the country, young men are targeting each other. And they're saying that it's increased post-COVID.
It is. It is. Well, black people. A lot of people were in their homes, so it was nobody that really get shot. So one thing I don't like is that that the media is perpetrating a fraud when they look into the communities, especially communities of color, and say all of a sudden there's this influx of violence. Well, first of all, nobody was outside last year. So let's be honest. But I will address what you just said. I want to just address that. And I believe, just like we had a conversation last week about racism, and we talked about a lot of things being systemic, a lot of things that were passed down through the years, especially with our community. I can only speak for our community, right? Is carried over from systemic oppression over the years. Gangs were only made out of necessity, okay, in the inner cities because of poverty, right? A need to protect themselves, especially from police, because police was killing us. Okay, even at those times during gang wars and so forth. So we need everything, and people hate when I say this, but everything that has happened to us and the things that black people even got going on now, and I don't believe black on black violence is a myth. Black on black crime is a myth, because black people kill each other at the same rate white people do, or any other ethnic group does. They do that to shame us and to make us feel guilty.
Numbers on that. Because I don't think nobody spraying corners like you spraying corners, man.
No, trust me. It's
I would like to see numbers. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but I would like to see numbers.
With the way it's presented in the media, with our own pop culture, with sometimes the allowance of what's accepted with black art and what has to be out there, it becomes conditional.
Does black art shoulder some of the blame for the
I don't. You say shoulder. I think a lot of
black art has been promoted? Because there's a lot of
there's a lot of black art,
different
but what I'm saying in terms of pop culture, and that's why I use the words that's allowed, because sometimes you might have a two movie pitches from Hollywood. One movie pitch might be about the best type of black family that needs to be represented compared to this street field tale full of guns, drag stocks, and murder.
Yeah.
And that's the story they want to tell.
Right.
So we're conditioned for that because that's what we see. We want to see the paid in full. You want to see the boys in the hood. You want to see the menace to society. But I'm just saying it's conditioned, especially when there's no further teaching after it.
Right.
They're going to give you this movie, but they're not going to give you another one to balance that off. They want to show you as gangs and drug dealers and robbers and thieves or whatever, but they don't want to show you as family men, fathers, brothers, uncles, mothers, daughters. They go through things too and overcome it without violence. But I also want to bring it back to what Jamel said, and I know this will be a to be continued discussion.
Yeah.
Some of the taboos, because some of the things that affect black community, unlike white community, is our trauma. You can't have a bunch of kids living in a community where there's literally gunshots every day,
Right.
and you can't label that trauma. That's traumatic. When you have kids who their community, you'll get a report, new shell and lock 35 men up.
Right.
traumatic. Because not only are you losing just friends in the street, that's somebody's father,
Nigga boy's father,
uncle.
Right.
Our son, our only son.
Now they got to go to school. Their white counterpart, or even some blacks who don't have that reality because
Right.
that's not their experience, to no fault of their own. That's just not their experience. But the trauma that a child living in a community where this is prevalent becomes a little bit overwhelming. But then there's a taboo in the black community that nobody should get treatment.
Right.
So what you think that's going to look like when this 6-year-old has been going through this trauma his whole life? Now he's 16.
Right.
How you think that's going to come across in his behavior?
Manifesting.
It's not been taught. His
So
father, his father's been sent away 10 years. That's trauma.
it's interesting because I know that I know one time Juice was on, we were talking about post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Mothers and fathers, when a man and woman fathers a child, and the mother and father decide, hey, we don't want to be together anymore, that is fucking traumatic to the child.
Of course.
That is a very traumatic, and a lot of us, experience and go through that. It's a lot of trauma that we suffer from that we don't.
To take a step further, but some of those parents are products of broken homes themselves and never addressed their original problem from when they was young. So the cycle just repeats. It repeats itself in a sense where, again, we're not learning how to problem solve. It's not uncommon for two parents to go different ways, although they've had a child, but it's how you deal with it. The responsibility of that now more comes into play. Because now there's a separate responsibility as you as a father who doesn't live in a home or may still be the custodial parent or vice versa to the mother. But there's responsibility.
Right.
It's your responsibility as a father to say, I'm not going to treat my child's mother like a piece of shit, even though she might be a piece of shit. But you can't, the responsibility is not treating her like that.
Yo, and you on point. Because I think that's a big problem in our community. Though.
Because then my child now sees that.
Right.
And now happens that my young son
This is a cycle.
How to deal with women as he becomes older. Or how my young daughter is going to really understand what love looks like.
Right.
Can you love when you carrying heavy baggage? A lot of trauma. You may have different multiple sources of trauma.
Right.
And then this thing's been going on for decades unchecked.
Right.
Can you love and be a harmonious partner without us being treated?
I don't know. My grandma always told me how to love from a distance. I don't know if that's the same thing,
Right.
but it's something that sometimes has to happen. You understand what I'm saying? For your own sake and own sanity. People you love still can drive you crazy, right?
Definitely.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a loved one or significant other, someone you're intimate with. It's so much love that your own brother, love him to death. But sometimes he's going to get on my nerves. So I'm going to distance myself.
Right.
So our relationship doesn't go down this tube. But sometimes you definitely got to love from across the street at this moment. Because then life is tricky. Life brings you things that's going to bring you back together. Me and my brother might have not been on the same path. And I'm just speaking example. But if we're not on the same path, but something in life happened, God forbid he gets cancer, God forbid he gets hit by a car accident, how that's going to build in your internal? How you going to, because that conscience is now God's talking to you, and he only speaks when you lay your butt down, and that voice in your head starts to tell you things that you didn't know was going on. Some people can listen, some people don't. And it'll wear at you. It will wear at you.
You know what? Let me tell you something. There's so many issues within our community. See, this is why I like getting with y'all, because I'm telling you something. Every time we get together, there's so many issues, there's so many topics that we can have a discussion about, right? And I think this has to be the catalyst for something much greater than ourselves. I was kicking it with these brothers earlier today. We were talking, and we were talking about the city here in New Rochelle. Black people here in the city make up about 20% of the population. Roughly 3 people ran for city school board. 3 people ran for city school board. And all 3 of them collectively got 1,900 votes. 1,900 votes. Collectively.
Aggregation.
All together.
And for perspective, the winner got how many votes? Most votes received how many?
It was like
25.
No, yeah, roughly, like 15.
She got
1,500.
And then
Yeah.
the third amount that they got like 2,200.
Yeah.
By themselves.
Yeah.
And 3 black candidates got 1,900 in the aggregation.
Well, you know what? Here's the problem with that whole election. The whole election it's typically low. When school board elections here in Rochelle are typically low. Yeah, and mainly because people don't vote now.
Yeah, nobody votes for local. You know, they're not encouraged to vote in local elections.
Right. So we're just coming off of a presidential election where the most people in history ever voted. The most people ever have voted for this presidential election. But the problem is that we had an opportunity to win at least one of those seats as a black people here in this city, and it didn't happen. And that's honestly disturbing. That's honestly disturbing. I know our numbers, as a 20% of this population, there's no real representation for us, if that be the case.
There is no representation.
Right. Well, there's one.
But is that why we don't come out? When it's time to come out to support and elect? Is that why we don't have representation? I mean, this might be a concrete example.
Yeah.
Because people knew that there was
some people knew. Not all people knew.
But then you have to think of, I don't like her because I don't the way she wear her hair or shoes or the way she talks or the way she looks.
Yeah.
As opposed to thinking of, this is her job to advocate for your babies, and who better to advocate than her? She's a pistol.
Right.
But you got Amy Weinstein. You don't even know Amy Weinstein, but she gets to speak. But your sister, who would be a more effective advocate for your child, you don't go out and support them.
Yeah. It's an interesting commentary, man, because at the end of the day, we as a community have to begin to prioritize what it is that we want and what it is that we're looking for. You know, we need representation here in this city. And it's dwindling now. So we're calling for.
It's only fair. How do you have a 20% of something like representation? That's kind of crazy. In any capacity, you represent 20%, but you have no seats at the table. That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
So when I originally said it, I actually made a post. I made a Facebook post about this. And when I originally said it, there were some people who were like, who didn't care. There were some people that thought I was being racist, which we all know that. We discussed this last week, black people.
You sound a little racist sometimes.
You think I sound racist sometimes? So I don't want people to misinterpret my love for my people, okay, for racism. There's a difference. No doubt. Right? There's a difference. I think that
we don't hate y'all. We just want better for ours.
That's it. I want you. Right. I want you to get yours. Yeah. But be very clear. We're in the process of trying to get ours.
Have you ever seen them?
I do. I did watch the show.
Did you see that episode 8 when they had the bankers was talking and they talking about how they were going to overcharge?
Yeah. How they were letting black people move into those communities.
Nobody can withstand this long. He was like, that's the point. But
right.
If they can pay it, fine.
They win.
Pay it, we take it back, sell it again.
They win.
It's like the 1952 Housing Act, right?
Yeah.
And everybody goes along except domestics.
Right.
In 1952, what you think blacks were doing? Nothing but domestics.
Well, that touched on redlining. Did you see them?
I've seen parts of it, but I know it's a catch up.
That redline episode was
black people. I'm on Black Lightning. That's where I'm at. So you're watching them. I'm still watching Black Lightning. Those who watch Black Lightning know exactly what you're doing.
Right. So I want more for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
We deserve a lot more, man.
Of course.
America, before the Europeans came in mass, it was just us. It wasn't like before the Italians and the Jews and before electricity came, we was here in dark America, man. And truth be told, we helped America navigate this wilderness, the dark wilderness, man.
Of course,
the Americans help. I think we just deserve a lot more than they give us.
Well, we could take the racial picture out if it makes some people uncomfortable. I don't know all your listeners and their demographics.
No.
But if race has nothing to do with it, look at America in itself. They're losing. You're losing in the world of science, tech, and engineering, and mathematics.
Right.
STEM schools. Now you have a man like Nipsey Hussle who was opening up STEM schools.
Right.
He's gone, but who's taking us further? How many STEM schools are placed in communities in which you know?
Right.
So, and this had nothing to do with race. This is America across the whole united national world front. We're not in number one no more.
17.
You're losing in science, tech, education, mathematics, and everything we all do is engaged in science, Your phone is technology, which is engineering and mathematics. So at the end of the day, that's something. If America's looking at you like you're racist, take the race out and just look at where we are in the world compared to our education system. So when you include one group and exclude the other because of the race of your skin, maybe you deserve to be in 17th, or maybe that's your reason to be in 17th.
Right.
Because now you're not empowering.
Yeah, you on point, man.
You understand what I'm saying?
You on point.
That's how that works. And again, this is all going to be continued when we have this continued conversation.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to continue that.
My brother's a gym in the show. I think he's unappreciated. Probably don't recognize that this guy is a gym.
Yeah,
guys, you don't do it. Gotta get him. I know about to give the other guy. I thought about saying, oh, this is the guy.
Listen,
listen,
Malik, it's true. It's true, man. It's true.
You've been sandboxing this. You was my little brother growing up to this, to that. So all our journeys in itself.
Absolutely.
We're privileged to know our journeys. The youngins don't know our journey, but we're privileged, man. And it's an honor to definitely be able to sit around a group of men, particularly you two, and be able to just build and help.
Yeah.
And I was always taught, I don't care if 1,000 people listen. One gets something from you, you've done your job.
Right.
You've done your job, man.
Right.
It's so much that we have, so much work to do. I think that's the first thing you said when I walked in.
Yeah.
So much work to do.
It's the harvest is right, man, but the laborers are few.
But I do want to hold on that point, and I want to pick back up, man, in terms of education, particularly in New Rochelle, but across the whole diaspora, man.
American education, I think we got to start preparing these kids for the job markets of the 30s, the 2030s, and 2040s, and 2050s. We got to get this kid ready for tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I believe it.
We need people at these board of ed seats that's able to see around the corner, see in the future, and see what's going to be needed. And let's start building infrastructure to teach these kids what they need.
But you want to know something to know? We got to galvanize. We got to galvanize. We got to galvanize our people and get them on the same page.
We got to repair broken education.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's hard.
I think that's hard because sometimes you just got to do it. You got to take the boundaries down. Like for instance, you talk about schools. Schools have boundaries up. You got a school of New Rochelle or a school district, particularly New Rochelle, where you say there's 20% of blacks in the community in this city, and there's not 20% representation at the schools, and we're talking from the higher up. So how are they going to trickle anything down that entails black experience?
Right.
You know, it's cool that we learn Shakespeare, but we also want to be able to read Virginia Hamilton.
Yeah,
our kids need to be able to understand that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Virginia was in Aldo.
Right.
We like S.E. They give us the Outsiders in literature class, but you're not giving a Virginia Hamilton book. You're not doing an autobiography on James Weldon or any of our black heroes,
right?
Or leaders per se. Yeah. So I think that balance is also needed, but then the credentialing sometimes. You got men who've made mistakes. You got people in our community who made mistakes, but they have a lot of impact on our youth. Who better to put in your school to have that impact? Meanwhile, you got a teacher who might not be culturally as competent as those who are culturally sound within our own community.
Right.
And she just might not have that insight that you yelling at this child 8:30 in the morning is because this child just didn't have breakfast. And that's no fault of you, white teacher.
Right.
That's just this child's reality. And when you say galvanize, that's what we mean. We got to start bringing that
absolutely
together.
When these kids are suffering in crisis, they go to the youth tackle coach before they go to the teacher.
Of course. Well, of course, man. Well, first of all, relationship goes a long way, right? Relationship goes a long way. And this is what we actually had discussion a little bit earlier, right?
And also, and I'm not going to mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no doubt.
Relationship goes a long way. How I see you as myself goes the full distance.
That's it. That's the
point. If I look at you and see me, then I got you. One thing about working in Philly schools, and the Philly's an all black chocolate city. So kids, we just see they look, Mr. Malik, you look like us.
Right.
Although you're standing in front of us teaching, or you split this job of responsibility, or our leader or our head, whatever, you still look like us. I knew how to speak your language. I knew how to speak the language of an 11-year-old. They had to go into the meetings in the boardroom, and we have this beautiful conversation, this professional conversation. But then there was part of me who knows when I get into that school hallway, the kids don't care about the language I'm using in that boardroom. Just come here, bro. Whatever the language at the time is. But I think we take away from when we don't put people in schools or in communities that can relate to these children. Because then the impact is far much better than the teacher who's just going to yell at the kid, not put two and two together and realize this kid didn't even have breakfast yet.
Right.
So,
Right.
But I think there's a lot to discuss.
Right.
You got to go.
Listen, and I know you guys got to get out of here, but let me just also add to this, to that particular conversation and say, that is what we had the conversation about when I said those teachers years ago, man, could not really help cultivate black kids, man, especially black men.
When I Webster, it was a lot of love and nurture in Webster. When I went to my first day in Alpha, it was cold, man. Yeah, I remember Alpha just being a cold experience. All them teachers, man, was math, English.
How many black teachers you had?
They all was white. All the main, the math, the science, man. Zeno was math. The white guy was science, big heavyset guy. But they was just cold blooded. The science guy was kind of cool, but for real, it was a cold blooded, man. Especially coming from that nurturing Webster environment. Go to Cobble the warmest thing in it was Polly and Bougie, you know.
What year was that?
Man, I started that September of 90.
We in 2021. Can imagine how it is.
Cold blooded.
Yeah.
Cold there, man.
And we live in a faster world. Information is different now.
It seemed like you almost, as a kid coming from the projects, man, you felt like them teachers didn't want you there. You felt they uncomfortable with this.
So
of course.
But how do you think these kids feel now when they got a faster way of seeing the world than we ever have?
Right.
We can't see the world the way the world sees itself now because the information wasn't the same.
How people want to have the wherewithal to absorb it?
Or how does a seventh grade want to go to school when he's seeing men getting killed by police and I got to deal with this racial tension thing going on and all my teachers have been white.
Right.
Meanwhile, when I go home, I don't see nothing but us.
You know what though?
That's hard to swallow. That's hard to deal with. You got to go to school 180 days. I got to get up 180 days and that be my thinking? And I'm only 11.
I'm only gonna stay in the world about it.
I'm only 11.
Before you get out here, let me introduce this brother. He's my brother. He's my friend. Gonna welcome to the show. My man, Juice. Where you at, man? Juice, where you at?
Yo.
Juice, we can't hear you, man.
Hold on.
You shining, though, baby. We see you, baby.
Juice, make sure your mic is on.
It says it's on.
There's no sound. Juice is you.
Hold on.
We're gonna come back to Juice, but before you guys get out of here, man, let me first of all just say this, man. We got to be continue this.
Definitely.
And the people, so they saying they can hear him. They saying they can hear him. Juice, where you at? The people said they can hear, but we unfortunately can't hear you in the studio.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah, I don't hear him.
I don't know how it's gonna work if you can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear someone hear him. Where's it coming from?
Give me a second.
Okay.
Take me up.
Where's it coming
Go ahead, Juice, speak.
Can you hear me now?
He's talking, but we can't
hear me now.
No,
Juice. Come on, Lee, you got this. Set it up.
You can okay, Juice. They saying they can hear you on the what is that? What are we hearing them from?
You guys hear me well? Because I can see the chat. Can y'all hear me very
Oh, there we go.
clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine, man. There you go.
I bet.
There you go, dude. We can hear you now.
All right, awesome, man. I rushed to get
Make
home.
sure you
so I can
speak
do
up
this.
because then people say you're low, but we can hear you. Shout out to everybody coming in the room. Shout out to Ernie Flowers. What's up, man? Shout out to you for coming in. Shout out to who is this? Clarissa. Shout out to you. Shout out to Keelan, who's on the line today. Hopefully he got that text. He's going to join us shortly. Hopefully he got it and he's going to join us. I'm looking for him. I don't know where he at, but I'm looking for him. Shout out to all of you people coming into Black Eye Radio. Make sure that if you're not part of Black Eye Radio, you go like and subscribe. It's happening tonight. We got some good brothers in here having some good conversation.
We're just having a little fun now. We're looking too much, block us.
They're gonna want to block us. Yeah, man. So, Juice, what's up, man? What do you have to say?
What's going on, man? I've been listening. My brother who likes Black Lightning, that's my show. I'm sad that I did this past week. You know what I mean? That was a positive black show, all black cast except for the Negro hating black man, the albino brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a podcast, dude.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it. It was very dope. You know what I mean? And you know, it showed the power of family, the power of community, the power of generational wealth, and all of that. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. Have you been listening to the conversation we started with?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you can answer that before they get started.
Are you talking about tonight's topic or what you were talking about?
Yeah, no. We didn't get on that yet. We're about to get into that, but we actually was just talking about stuff in our own community, galvanizing, and we touched on a few different things tonight. So you know, but these brothers are about to get out of here. Once again, thank you to my brother, my friends. These are some solid brothers in our community. They're gonna come back. Do I gotta get date for y'all to come back? What's the date?
I thought we was going next Monday.
Y'all want to do next Wednesday?
Next week, baby.
All right. So my brothers are going to come back next week. We're going to hold them to it. So they said it live on the air, so we got to hold them to it. All right. Good. We're going to have them come back. Also, we're going to have prayerfully Nene Rice and Dr. What's her name, Lee?
Burgess.
Dr. Burgess, come on.
I'm familiar with Nene. Nene is a very philosophical, intellectual soul herself.
Yeah, I can't wait. That would be good.
Yeah, you know that's his wife.
I know.
Yeah.
Whenever they come, let me know.
Well, next week.
Are they here next week?
Yeah,
Say less.
we're gonna have the conversation about school.
Say less.
All right. I think that's an important topic that we need to have about black kids in the school.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? We're not having that conversation enough. And with your expertise and you know, for people that don't know, man, you know, this brother is a Temple graduate and he's done a lot right in his life and in his career. We need to have this conversation. There's not enough black people in education to help cultivate our young black kids, but we getting there. We're getting there. The more we have these conversations, the more we better ourselves and the more we can better our community. You know what I'm saying? And I thank y'all for stopping by real quick.
Thank you for having us. Next week I'll definitely be back here. We love you, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Y'all don't want to leave. Y'all don't have to if y'all don't want to. I know. All right. Well, listen, I love y'all. Anything y'all can do about it. If you try to do something about it, it wouldn't matter. I still love y'all.
That's right. We wasn't doing this. We all be hoping everybody in the panel be chewing us up.
Straight up.
That's how we got to be on each other.
I just appreciate you, man. You're just a quality human being, man.
Wow.
And that's what
man.
like. I just like to be quality, harmonious human beings, man. You know what I mean? And just good people, man.
Praise be to God, man.
That's what moves the world for me, man. Just stay away from negativity. I don't want.
And I don't ever see him with a chuckle. You gotta laugh with him. It's always something that's coming out. That's that energy of laughter. There's not a time that I don't see you. I don't care if
you're a funny snapper.
I snap on cats.
I
will snap on cats.
Busy on the low.
I will get busy on you. I will get busy on you if you let me.
What's his last name? Love y'all.
Say nothing.
Love y'all, man. Love y'all.
Can't wait till next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we give it you early next week.
Next week, man.
Can I bring some alcohol?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, man. Come with it. Shout out to everybody who's coming in. If you're just coming into this conversation, shout out to Pastor Lee Trollinger who's here tonight.
I'll see you next week.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you can speak.
Appreciate you guys. One love. See you guys next week. Daddy do this for. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. My heart, man.
Absolutely, bro. You know what it is. Listen, if you just tuned into Black and Red, shout out to you. Shout out to my big cousin Fliz, who's here. Fliz said shout out to City Park. If y'all didn't see his comment.
Salute.
Shout out to Flip It. Shout out to everybody who's coming into Black and Radio. Shout out if you're just joining. Pastor Lee Trollinger is joining us tonight. Shout out to you, man. I wish you could join in on this conversation. We're about to get into something heavy though. Before we get into something heavy, my man Keelan is here. Keelan, what's up? Are you here?
I'm here. Hold up. I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, brother.
Yo, I'm here, man.
Yo, what's up, Key?
What's up, man? What's going on?
You got good light tonight.
Yeah, man, you looking good tonight.
I got good light. I'm trying to hide from the kids.
You trying to hide from the kids?
I'm trying to hide from the kids, man. So you may hear a couple knocks and cries and whines and tears and things.
Oh,
That's what's going on, man. Y'all looking good, man. I didn't catch much. The brothers sounded pretty good from what I was hearing. You know?
No, so we they came in, man. We're actually going to be organizing here in New Rochelle. I don't know if I shared this with y'all before, but we're going to be shout out to my girl Angie Bradley, who's in here. She know what it is. Pray Temple all day. You know what I mean? I just want to yeah.
What up, Blue?
She was coming in here. Brittany Mickey is here. I was hoping that she was going to come on tonight. Shout out to you for coming in. It was good to get to actually hang out with you this weekend. It was good to see you. Got to fellowship with you all the way from California. It was so good to see. We had a great fellowship in this weekend. Finally, shout out to you. Yeah. So me and the brothers here in New Rochelle are collectively coming together, and we're going to be. There's going to be a lot happening with the brothers here in New Rochelle. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man.
And so they stopped in. I said, I can't go without saying something.
Yeah, it's good to hear, man. Looking forward to hearing the build and good news and the fruits of the effort, man.
I wasn't gonna let them go without just not saying something. So it was good to see them. Listen, man, we got a few things we're gonna talk about tonight, Eli. It's good to see you, brothers. It's always good to have good brothers. My man Juice is here. Keelan's here. Are y'all ready to get into
this?
What's
up, Juice?
What's up, Kilo?
Another day.
All right, so listen.
No dollars.
I hear that.
No dollars.
One of the biggest things that's been trending. All right, and we're gonna get into it tonight. Tonight, you feel free to call too. Make sure you call us up tonight. If you're a part of Black Out Radio, we're gonna put you up on the screen. I want you to call in tonight so we can have a good conversation. One of the things that's been trending here on my news feed is the issue of, well, I'm not going to say the issue, but non-binary. Who's familiar with being non-binary?
Well, let's say the right thing. It's called genderqueer. We have to get it proper on this platform.
Well, hold it. It's non-binary. It's non-binary.
But they like to be called genderqueer.
Not all of them, though. Some of them like to just be called them.
Nah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's start this.
Are you familiar with non-binary?
Let's start.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what you know about non-binary, or at least your definition of it.
It's you're not committed, and I'm only familiar with that. I didn't do my background or anything, so forgive me.
Let's give a brief understanding.
Yeah. So you're not bound to one thing or the other regarding sexuality, one way or the other regarding your sexuality. So you're not bound to that. You're non-bound, in which, if I'm getting that, I know binary, that can be used a few different ways, but you're not committed. You're not secluded. You're not fixed to one preference sexually or the other.
Right. And so
there
was a question posed on Facebook this week. Okay. And you're right about that, by the way. So that's my understanding of it too. So my understanding is you don't have no, you're smack dab in the middle.
You don't associate with any of the. Go ahead.
Say it again.
You don't associate with either one of the two normative binary genders. He left?
Oh, he cut out?
I think he's backstage. Hold on.
He put himself in timeout.
He must be on timeout, but we can keep the show going.
That's my understanding. Understanding is just that. I don't know what's trending on his feed, but it's the way, I'll tell you this, the way that I actually found out about the term, I had to go look it up because my 12-year-old niece said that her friend or her associate or classmate or schoolmate was claimed non-binary at her age. And you know, these terms are quite new. LGBTQ, what is it, X plus, or I don't even know. But
LMNOP,
these terms,
whatever. Yeah.
The terms are terms that I think people who are trying to find themselves. You know, we went to high school. You remember the end of middle school?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were just kind of figuring things out, but then in high school you had to kind of make some tougher decisions as to where you fit. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, the kids these days coming from middle school, moving into high school, you're going to find your spot in your comfort zone as you begin to mature in these higher grades. And you're going to begin to apply a title to yourself based on how you identify yourself. And so non-binary is one of the many titles that doesn't mean LGBTQ. I guess that's the umbrella that holds all of these other things.
Let me just jump in here real quick, because Tiffany French said gender and sexuality are different.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Point. Yeah,
that's true.
She's on point.
So here's the deal.
How does that play into non-binary? Is it speaking of gender or sexuality? So that I don't know. I haven't.
Well, non-binary is based on gender, not sexuality per se.
Right.
Gender is just gender is just a sexual organ.
Yeah.
It's a determinative if you're a male with the male organ, or female with the female organ. That's all gender is. It's an identifier. Right. So is that what non-binary is referring to?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's referring to that you don't associate yourself, as I stated, with being a male or a female gender. Although you may have those organs, you feel that you don't associate with those.
So genders. It's not sexuality then.
No, it's gender.
Gender identification.
Because and to go further, you could be non-binary, then state that you're pansexual, or state that you are, you know, one of the 200 different sexualities that they claim now. You know.
Right. Yeah. So Kyrie said that the definition is simple. They do not identify with male or female.
Okay.
Good job,
all right.
Yeah.
Got it.
So let me ask you brothers this. And I'm hoping that people call in and join us on this conversation tonight. If you are a female, but you are non-binary, which means you don't feel either one of those, but you are a female, is it rude to just call you by your name?
Personally?
Your personal name or your gender? Hey man, what's up, man?
Or your assumed name, yeah. Your assumed name. Hello?
Yeah. Is it rude?
Yeah. So so I'm saying personally, with the way that I perceive it, I don't think it's a wrong thing, because my eyes see what they see. You know? So I know people get upset when someone names them, I guess, whatever it's called.
Misgender?
Like they misgender,
or misgender, because
you know, and it's misgender to them, you know, and so, you know, it kind of throws me off, because you kind of got to walk on eggshells, because if you don't know somebody's pronouns, as they say nowadays, you know their pronouns, then you can get caught up in even legal troubles, you know.
So here's a question. Are black people, you know, this show is, we talk about a lot about our black community, you know, and the reason I'm saying black people, because I want us to get a better understanding of what this is, so that we may be respectful and have a better understanding of what it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Would this be considered a mental illness?
From the general from the general definition of mental illness?
Yeah.
I would consider it so.
Are people that are non-binary who all of a sudden say, "Hey, you know what? I don't deal with none of this." Is this a mental disorder?
When you go further and further away from nature, you kind of teeter on that little that little border of mental illness, or it could be something with depression or trauma, but all those things can lead you to mental illness. Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm trying to stick with the topic term, but this can easily slide into the GAY discussion, right? But I'm trying to keep it. Can non-binary, which is a relatively new social term, right? I don't know how long that term is. If you look at the etymology dictionary, you can see when terms become
right.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the term socially, it's
from 2014.
It's from 2014?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we've been. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
okay.
You're good.
We've been around for some time, like our grandmothers and grandfathers. But so because when I was a youth, when I was young, we didn't have these terms. So now that I'm older, but
well, you are up there in age.
These terms are a social construct based on acceptance. So when we talk about, because this can easily go to a powerful Blackout radio show that you had some time ago, which we probably need to revisit, the discussion on homosexuality, right? But in terms of a mental illness, non-binary could be associated with a mental illness being something that you're actually born with. Now, people are going to dispute that, but it is a mental chemical condition when you're not stable in your chemical makeup to swing between the two genders. That is a mental condition. Now, but socially, you have people that are subscribing to that just because it's sort of they're free.
Yeah,
they're free.
It's popular.
They're free.
Let me just get this. So you said it can easily slide into that conversation of LGBTQ, right? And it's true, because can you be straight and be non-binary?
Technically, and here's a little confusion about it. Technically, you can be.
Shout out to Javon St. John for coming in.
What's going on? When it comes to it, they even, like I said, they call it gender queer, they call it trisexual. You guys can slide back and forth as you please, to what you're associated with.
Are there straight people who are non-binary?
Nah, man. Let's see. This is where it gets funky, because all of this really comes down to sex, having that, doing the nasty. That's what all of this comes down to. So otherwise, we're talking about the sexual faculties and what they're used for.
Kyria say yes. Kyria say yes. Huh? Kyria say yeah. You can be straight and be non-binary.
That's not. We can't do that. I'm not gonna let it slide. Kyria, you're gonna be in my hot seat, because listen. All of this comes down. Let's just keep it simple. It comes down to having sex. Mm-hmm. That's what this is about. You don't need to even bring up your sexual member if we ain't talking about sex. That's what it's all about. So that means that if you're non-binary, that means that you're gonna do it with a man or a woman. You're not bound to go just one way. Mm-hmm. This is all about your preference sexually and doing that nasty. That's what this is about. Let's just keep it 1,000%.
And even then, there's a title for that, which I believe is called bisexual. So
there you go.
You know, but now bisexual means that sexually you go both ways, but non-binary means that gender-wise you don't go both ways.
Yeah, gender. And how does one determine that? Unless it's unless you in your mind convince yourself, even though you got a ding-a-ling, right, or however we want to say it, a whip, even though you have that, but you're not saying yourself that you're a male, so you're gonna identify also as a female and swing back and forth, or you're not bound to your gender. Which, remember,
Tiffany says this. Tiffany French says, gender and sexuality are not the same. You can be assigned female at birth, but be non-binary or non-gender conforming and still have sexual preference for men.
Right. That's
just to be straight.
We're saying that.
But now
but
too crazy.
We're saying that, but at the same time, it's a lot of like semantics in that. And what we're saying is that this all surrounds having sex.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get caught up in because what you have is you have a social movement by the people that are under the LGBTQ AIG plus, I don't know, plus you have them trying to become normal, if you will, or it be somewhat of a normal sort of way of life, and so they have to define it in a way that exactly suits them, and so there's a lot of, within their own community, a lot of confusion as to how we identify. It's very simple. It's all about sex, and if you're a male and like having sex with other males, then back in the day, before 2014, we called that gay. If you're a woman that likes to sleep with women, we call that you're a lesbian, from the Isle of Lesbos, right? And that's all it was. But now, because socially we have to, it has to be a normal status, and you got to break out all the fences and identify. And now bathrooms, and it's not just white and black anymore. You got everything in between. And as you can see, there is no end to it. There is no identifying, because it's unsatisfactory to those that feel a little bit different.
So let me just be very clear about something, because I still want to be sensitive to the community, right? And I want to be sensitive to people who are non-binary, because if this is the case, does it mean they're not one and the same? It means they're not one and the same.
What's not one and the same?
Being non-binary in LGBTQ.
Now, LGBTQ is the umbrella that all of that falls under.
Yeah, it's the umbrella.
That's why they added more letters to it. I don't even know the letters, because it's
16 letters now.
It's taken on. It's encompassing all who fit and identify. If you're not straight, right, sexually, then you're under that. Everything makes it difficult.
They made one for us, which is the cis.
What is that?
Cisgender, CIS gender, which means that you have normal sex, phallus to vagina.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a cis.
Huh?
You know what I mean? I'm a bro. You know what I mean?
I don't. I don't know what you mean.
So okay.
You have to break that down more.
Cis. Okay, so cisgender.
You said a bunch of letters that did not refer to the community. You kind of just added some letters in there.
I think that's when I said the LMNOP, but I'm just, I'm Josh.
Yeah. So I just to be clear, and like I said, this is, so we can't lump them into the same group, right? If you understand what we're talking about tonight and you want to jump on this conversation, feel free to call us up at 914-268-8800. That's 914-268-8800. We're looking for your call. Join in this conversation if you have something you want to add to it. So just to be clear about it, that non-binary humans, they are not necessarily part of that community. It could be a straight person. There's people that can be straight that are part of that movement.
Nah,
you just don't identify.
This is double talk. This is double definition. We can't have it both ways. See, when we talk like that, and hopefully some people are brave enough to call in.
Yeah, please call in.
To help us out, and we're not going to take it easy. But listen, there's no disrespect for the community, because, like I said before, I truly believe people are born this way. And if y'all want to come on here and say something different, let's talk about it. But people are born with a mental illness, where based on their gender, and gender as we're defining it is which sexual faculty you've been born with, and that defines what you are, your X or Y chromosome, right?
Yes, sir.
So I don't want to convolute it. So we're talking about straight but non-binary. If you're non-binary, I don't know what you mean by that's not the same. You can still be straight. What does that mean? This all is about having sex. That's what it's about. And like, I don't know if one tries to philosophize and wiggle around that. The only reason we're talking about somebody's, private part is about having some sex. That's what this is about, yo. I gotta be honest. Either you having sex with the same or the opposite.
Tiffany French said it's not all about having sex. So because this is what I'm getting from it. So there's recently a celebrity who just came out as non-binary, right? Demi Lovato, right? She came out as non-binary.
Yeah.
Is she a straight woman?
That's up to her to decide, right?
She's a female. She's a female gendered woman. Female gendered woman by birth. She wants to go in. Huh?
I know. I know.
So
I know.
What
if she's now non-binary, she is not to be referred to as such.
By social construct. Neo-social construct.
By social construct.
That's what it is. I mean, come on.
So let me add to this. If we were all mute all across the world, you couldn't say anything at all.
Right.
When I come to see you, Keelan, I would see a man in front of me, correct?
Right.
I see my boy Jamal, I see a man in front of me. If I saw Demi Lovato, I see a woman in front of me because we're all mute. We can't speak what's in here. We're going to use these things to associate. They're going to hit me after the day. I don't care.
Hey, are you trying to do that ooga booga? Ooga booga.
Like, yeah, I'm a man. And you might even have softer features as a man, but there comes a time you're gonna see that's a man or that's a woman. It is what it is. That's why I kind of say it is a little bit of mental illness, because
you're not seeing things.
You're not seeing things the way everyone else sees it. You see it the way that you desire to see it. But then I can get in trouble. I can get tore down. I can get canceled because of the way you decide you want to live your life.
Tish is telling me to use the right terminology. Where am I term?
I think the LGBTQ thing.
I already acknowledged.
That's Keelan's wife.
LGBTQIA+.
Keelan's wife told me you. Keelan's wife told me to do the right thing.
Embarrassing her.
Brittany Mickey says this. She says, question: do men who identify as women still want to have sex with women? Before I even finish reading this comment, let me say this, because you have people like Caitlyn Jenner.
I see a man
who still likes women, I believe, right?
Yeah, whatever. Caitlyn Jenner is a lesbian.
Attracted.
Yeah, she's lesbian transgender.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said Caitlyn Jenner is a lesbian transgender?
Yeah, that's what it is. Or that's what Caitlyn Jenner says that they do. I'm trying to be PC for some reason. I don't, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna start talking real. Let's go.
Listen, call us up tonight, 914-268-8800. We want to hear from you tonight. This is an interesting topic. The reason why we bring these topics up in our community is because it's not really talked about. There's a huge stigma in our community when we talk about gay people, when we talk about the LGBTQ+, when we talk about transgender, when we begin to talk about these type of things, it's just not talked about. You know, it's taboo, you know? And so I believe there has to be an understanding and there has to be some type of understanding to give people the proper respect that's due to them. But we have to come to an understanding first.
Yeah.
People still need to know that there should be some respect. Blackout Radio. Hey, Vaughn, hold on. Can everybody hear her?
No.
Hold on, Siobhan. We're gonna make sure everybody can hear. Siobhan, can you hear us?
I can hear. She's cool.
Okay.
Raise the volume.
Just want to make sure that everybody can hear her out there.
We can't hear
her. We can hear. Talk, Siobhan. Yeah. Hold on, Siobhan, because I want everybody to be able to hear you tonight. I want everybody to be able to hear you. So let me just switch you out. Because don't hold those words.
Siobhan about to tear it up in here.
Yeah. Hold that mule.
I'm scared, man.
I know.
I ain't even played. Y'all think I'm
No, she's what do you call it? Spitfire, man. She's a Spitfire.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, Siobhan. So we gotta fix this.
Yeah, no problem. Don't be scared. I literally just want to add to the conversation. I am not knowledgeable on everything. I am still learning. I am still taking courses and trying to understand and be more inclusive in the spaces that I'm in. So, for example, obviously being a coach, I coach all types of athletes. And it is not my place to tell someone who they are, who they should identify as. It is my responsibility as someone who is a coach to say, what do you identify as? If you identify as anything, right? And to kind of work accordingly to that. But prime example things that I'm learning, I was on a charity event with an organization that I work for. Here? And one of the workers appeared to be a man, male at birth, gender-wise, but had a lot of feminine qualities. So I did not know genuinely if I should say he or she or they, whatever. Right. So all I did to be courteous was say, excuse me, what are your pronouns? And then that person gets to tell me what they would like to be called. Oh, Siobhan, you can just call me Siobhan, or she, her, miss, or Mr., he, him. And the young man, he identified as male. He said him. Those were his pronouns. Then turned around and said to me, thank you so much for just asking. And I think that's where sometimes things are confusing. Things for some people don't make sense, but that doesn't mean we can't have a heart to just say, let me just ask the question, what are your pronouns? Would you just like to be called by your name? So that way you're being a little more inclusive, but you're also not being rude or dismissive of how someone else may or may not identify.
Right.
Yeah. So, right. Siobhan, hear me?
Yes.
What bathroom are they using?
I didn't ask them that. That's not my concern.
Right. So I'm saying that in a way where do we go around asking people what their pronouns? So you picked up and sensed that he had some feminine qualities, is that right? And then from there, you say you identified him as having feminine qualities. Therefore, it prompted you to take caution and ask him, how do you? What are your pronouns? Is that accurate?
Yes, I just asked what are your pronouns because I didn't want to say him without necessarily knowing, so I just asked.
Because you assessed that he had feminine qualities, is that right?
Correct.
Did you judge him, or how do you do that? What is that judgment? Because that could be offensive to people. And I'm sorry, I'm not.
He said that could be offensive to people.
To ask what your pronouns are?
Yeah, he said in a sense that's judging, and that could be offensive to people.
No, judging, that was actually a visual. I was going off of a visual.
So you judge.
That's not judging. That's going off of a visual. Now, if I were blind,
which is a judgment.
Go ahead, Keith.
No, judgment would have been.
So a judgment is making a decision, right? So you decided based on what you saw that you would take caution to ask what the pronouns were.
Javon, can you hear him?
No, say that one more time.
One more time, Keelan.
Yeah, what I was saying is that a judgment is a decision, and you decided based on what you saw to ask him and take caution and ask him, what his pronouns were. Is that accurate, or what do you think about that?
I would say judgment would have been me assessing the situation and saying, he looks like a man, so I'm just going to call him he. Because I'm judging why you over here with X, Y, and Z, or why do you look feminine when you're a man? To me, that would be judgment. Instead, I use compassion and kindness just to be courteous enough to say, what are your pronouns?
Right. So you got. So what I'm saying is that and I think you judged wisely. It was a judgment, and you made a decision based on what you saw and decided in your mind. You questioned him based on that. I think it was pretty wise of you to actually take caution. I'm just saying that it could become defensive because you have people that may not be there yet, and they're fighting with it, and some people don't want to feel that way. And some people say that they don't know why they feel that way. And all they know is they're struggling with it. But then, are we to go forward and how do we go forward in society to decide how to approach people when somebody may not be accepting that yet?
Well, okay, I agree. Okay, so I agree. Yes, I can understand what your assessment is, that the judgment of looks male, also looks like he has feminine qualities, but I'm not sure. So yes, I can see that. When you're asking someone the premise around pronouns, right? Because even I have pronouns on my signature for work. I identify as female. I look like a woman. But I still have pronouns because I will tell you this much. I have plenty of people without seeing me will always assume that I'm a man just by my name. And they will always email me back, Mr. John or Mr. Siobhan. That I get it all of the time without even seeing me.
I can see that by your name.
My signature has my pronouns attached as well as says Miss Siobhan, MS. So I think asking someone their pronouns, and I can see what you're saying. My personal opinion is asking someone their pronouns when you are unsure of what they may or may not identify as is, to me, more polite than just assuming, because it could very much well be that, no, I'm not. Why? So either way, it could be offensive. Either way, I think it's a little bit more courteous on the other end to just say, if you are unsure, what are your pronouns?
Yeah. Siobhan, I want you to stick around because we're gonna head off this particular topic, and I want you to stick around because I have another topic we're gonna end the show with tonight, and it's a question. This is also something that is trending. So today I decided to do a few things that was trending. So I want you to stick around. Is it okay if I call you back?
Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. I'm gonna call you back on this next. I need your opinion on this next segment. Okay. All right. Blackout Radio. Who's this?
Hello.
Hi, Blackout Radio.
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Am I?
You're on the radio.
Oh, I'm on. All right. So, as far as like, what you guys are talking about.
Before you start, what's your name? What is your name?
Oh, this is Kalisha.
Oh, hey, Kalisha.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. So this is my thing with the letters and with the preferences and all of that. See, for me, I would feel, uncomfortable, asking somebody what their pronoun is. Like, for me, I just feel like I'm gonna address them as a regular person. Like, if they're a man, but they look like a girl, like, I'm not gonna go up to them and be like, well, what should I call you? I'm just gonna address them in general. Hi, like, how are you doing? Things like that. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna get, it's not that deep for me to try to figure out. Right. If I call you something and it's the wrong pronoun or it's something, if you feel that strongly about it, you'll correct me. But as far as like, seeing somebody and noticing that they're built like a man but they have a dress or whatever the case may be, that's not gonna make me, feel any differently in the way I deal with them or talking to them. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a choice. You choose. It's a choice. It's a choice that you make. What you want to do, what you want to, what I'm saying? You're born one way, but you make the decision and you choose to do or to live however you choose to live. And and for me, I respect it. Either way whatever you want to do, whatever way you want to go, I love you either way. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like looking at people and trying to figure out the pronouns and all of that, like I'm not gonna, I just don't feel like that's really necessary. Because then what if you get offended? What if I ask you, and it's a guy, hi, like John, do you want me to call you Mr. like or Mrs.? No, like come on, like people may get offended by that. So I feel like just be general in talking to people. Like, I'm in the medical field. I work at a hormonal clinic. So I come in contact with different types of people every day that are built differently, that have different preferences. And I see on a paper their name may be Scott. And, and I'll call him Scott. But he might have on long nails or he might have a ponytail. But I'm going to call him Scott because Scott is on the paper. And if he doesn't want me to call him Scott, he'll say, hey, can you call me whatever else it may be? But I'm not just going to go in leading with asking somebody, what do you want me to address you as? If I'm unsure, I'm just going to have a general approach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he or she or they or them or whatever. I'm going to say, how are you doing? Or, you know what I'm saying? Without, you don't want to be.
I think it just comes down to respect. Just in general. You know what I mean? It just comes down to respect.
You have to respect people for who they are and who they want to be and who they choose to be.
Absolutely.
And we all, and the thing with me is that, listen, whether I believe in homosexuality or whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. I want to be respected for what I believe in. Just like the LGBTQILN, the letters, just like they want to be respected for what they believe in. So it's all about respect. I respect you because this is what you believe. But I want you to respect me too because I don't necessarily believe in that. You understand? But we can still respect each other's beliefs. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. People just want to be accepted and respected. So I respect you for who you are, but can you also respect me for what I believe is right?
Absolutely.
Or what I believe is wrong?
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Carlisha, thank you for calling.
Yeah, and
have a good night.
Listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me first get into this comment real quick. John Mickle says the reason for the questions is because the traditional visual clues no longer apply. If the message is unclear, you cannot blame the viewer for having questions.
That's right.
It's very interesting.
And real quick, for Siobhan, I know she's off the line, but just to keep her context, she said she was she does coaching. So considering the fact that she's coaching someone, and there's an ongoing relationship, she did want to address them appropriately. And I was just more on a wider social construct kind of, do we broaden that out to, so I'm just look, she would probably want to say that if I can say that for her, but wider sense, how do we, that's why I said, what bathroom do they use? Because that'll tell me that's what I meant by asking that question.
Well, that's true. That's a good question. I mean, I think that's a good question. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to prolong this particular conversation, but it is a good one. And if you have any more questions, feel free to comment in the comment section. But since Siobhan St. John is a coach, I want to segue this into the next topic of conversation. And real quick, we're going to jump into this video. We're going to jump right back out, and we're going to jump right into it, okay?
All right.
Here we go.
Tonight, we explore the topic of transgender athletes in high school sports. It's a difficult balance between the rights of transgender individuals to compete and the rights of others to compete on an equal playing field. Here's correspondent Jackie Heinrich.
High school runners are going toe-to-toe this weekend at the New England Regional Championships in Boston. A chance to get in front of college coaches and maybe even earn a scholarship. But Connecticut junior Selena Soule won't be competing in the 55-meter dash. She was edged out of the top 6 spots in part by 2 transgender runners, Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller, both male at birth, now identifying as female. Terry set a girls' state indoor record. Andrea came in second.
It's frustrating and in a way demoralizing when you're at the start line of a race and you know what the outcome of the race is before it even happens.
Medical physicist Joanna Harper, who's also a transgender runner, says high school athletes like Selena can face unfair competition from trans girls. It comes down to whether trans athletes have undergone hormone therapy.
Before these athletes get on hormones, then they have all of the athletic capabilities of men.
But high school athletics aren't governed by a single set of rules, making regional competitions a gray area. According to transathlete.com, Connecticut is one of 18 states that allow transgender athletes to compete without restrictions. 17 states review individuals case by case, and 9 states require surgery or hormone treatment. 6 states have no policy at all. Part of the challenge is age. College students and Olympians must undergo a year of hormone therapy to compete as trans athletes. But most teens don't begin hormone therapy until after puberty. Civil rights are also a concern. Hudson Taylor is the founder of Athlete Ally, a nonprofit LGBTQ athletic advocacy group.
Any pathway that separates or divides or segregates trans athletes into a different category is separate and is not equal and is not fair.
Advocates say rules for pro athletes are one thing, but a lot of high schoolers join teams to have fun, and transgender teens shouldn't be denied those same positive experiences. Shannon.
All right, Jackie, thank you very much.
Okay. So, that is something I came across and has been actually trending. It was actually trending a while back, but I ran across that recently, and it was something that was like a big deal. So this is what I'm going to do. I wanted to hear from somebody that was actually an athlete and still in sports. So it was great that Siobhan called. I would love to hear her take on this. So let me just give you a little background real quick. There are transgender females there are transgender females who were previously boys participating in sports, okay, with other females, and they're smoking them. I'm talking about smoking their boots off, son. Like they're in a race. They're like setting records and everything. And there's a good amount of people who feel like this is just not fair. How do you feel about it?
Go ahead, Juice.
Well, I'm gonna say this. They got what they were asking for. They opened the Pandora's box and didn't know how far it was gonna go. Now, if someone like one of us has a daughter who wants to play soccer or run track, and it usually will be separate for just females. Now, a man who's assigned himself to be a female or trans or whatever it is can smoke the boots off of her, and she'll possibly never have the chance to ever win anything or set a record. You know what I'm saying? Because a young man who decided to become a young woman or assign himself to be a young woman now can beat them, and men have a more physical prowess than women. You know, we carry all our weight, as we were talking earlier. Men carry all the weight on their shoulders. Women carry it on their hips. You know, so a man can hit harder, swing harder. Our hands are bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like our muscles. Someone told me the other day that men can just drink water and they start losing weight. You know what I'm saying? And women have a hard time with that. Like, all these things come together and say, okay, why are they allowing such things to happen? But everyone wants equality more than equity.
You know, listen, man. You know, we got to keep it simple. You know, that's what this is all about. The only way we're going to advance is just keeping things simple, and that's what I try to impress upon the kids, man. Just the more you get caught up in the clouds and all of this stuff, you're not going to be founded. You're going to be unrooted. And so males will automatically have a competitive advantage over a female. And this all goes back to your XY chromosome, which tells your body how to continue to develop you as a human, as an individual. And so you will have more muscle mass based on your genetic makeup and your gender and your chromosomes. It's going to build you in accordance to your chromosome and inherited chromosomes. So therefore, when you become fully developed to where you're competing, you're developed as whatever your chemical makeup told your body to be developed as. I probably sounded crazy right there, but you were developed as a male or a female. What tends to happen though is with these transgenders, you have this chemical imbalance that you have your predominant gender, but you also have a higher level of the male what do you call it? The male hormones, the testosterone, called testosterone, that's feeding a little bit more. So you have a little bit of an imbalance there, and the chemical makeup does begin to that part of it affects your mind, right, and it affects your body and the way you go about. The last thing is this: we can't be bullied into this when it's really truly a minority of humans. I don't feel that it's right to be bullied into one decision or the other. There should be a third competition for them, which would be more fair, instead of jamming and bullying and fitting them into either or and making all these exceptions that no matter which way you cut, it's not going to be fair. It's not going to be acceptable. There's always going to be an ongoing unfairness. So then, people are going to be discouraged. As hard as these athletes work, you're going to bully, you're going to socially acceptance style stick somebody that's saying, hey, because there's a chemical imbalance there, let's have a separate thing for them, with all due respect. Go ahead.
No, I completely hear you, man. I really, really do. I really completely hear you. I thought it was very interesting that, you know, we can have these trans athletes smoking the boots off these other women, setting complete records. Shoot.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back. Oh, they can hear me. Shoot.
He said they can hear me. Yo, man.
Damn, man, you mad?
Yo, because you know what? Once they start working out, yo, their muscles are building faster than the females.
Bulging, pause.
Yo, that's not fair.
It's not fair at all. It's not fair at all.
Yo, son. Yo, man. It's not right. It ain't right, man.
It's a damn shame, man.
Yo, it ain't right, man. Yo,
then,
but
how about this? How about this point now? You know how in playing football, soccer, there can be little altercations, baseball, softball, can be little altercations between players. Imagine a man snuffing a chick because he got mad that she blocked the ball, or you know what I'm saying, and his testosterone was already you know what I'm saying, going through his body. He thinks he's a woman, or believes he's a woman, and knocks your daughter out, or knocks your wife out. Or,
that's a good point.
You feel me?
That's
a
good point.
Not only that.
If I come to defend her, it's a hate crime.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. The biggest problem that I think we have when it comes to this particular topic is the equality aspect of it. There's so much fight for women and wanting to be equal, you know.
Oh man, that's a different topic.
No. I'm just. This is just something I'm bringing up because you know, there's so much in women wanting to be equal, and when it comes to the case of trans women, really competing and really winning these competitions, now it's unfair. Is it really unfair?
But these aren't women. They're not women.
But they are women.
This goes back. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Juice.
I was gonna say this goes back to what I said before. You know, the Greek mythology of Pandora's box. This box held everything that could be possibly horrible for the world, even though the myth. Everything that's horrible for the world was in that box. A woman's curiosity went and opened the box. It let out wrath, it let out hate, it let out violence, murder, all these things out, and she was finally able to close the box. Only thing left in the box was hope. You feel me? And once you open that box, so many things will come out, because it starts with, and nothing against, you know, equality, but it starts with women's equality and things that they believe they don't have. Then trans are gonna be like, hey, if they can have equal rights, I mean, well, gay, you know, homosexuals said, okay, if they can have rights, we want rights too. Fine. Now it's trans. Next, you know, there's people who are pedophiliacs trying to get equal rights too right now, right?
Oh yes.
People who are necrophiliacs, bestial. Like,
that's right.
When does it stop?
Yo, it never ends. That's why LGBTQ has a plus on the end.
Yeah, because you're not gonna 16 different things it could be, or more. They said now there's 200 genders and all that. Like, this thing is becoming confusion to me.
Yo, Blackout Radio, our community. See, this is why we get on our community has to set the standard for this, man. It's very simple. This is about sexual preference for a lot of people, but there you do have people that are born with this illness. And I don't want to call it like a sickness, because I want to be respectful. It's not a sickness more than it is. Right. It's a chemical imbalance. You will see people that have males that have very feminine tendencies since I can tell y'all stuff, and I just can't even y'all have your own stories. Since they were very young, they not abused, and here's what people are gonna say is because they were sexually abused. That's some of them. We're talking about the others that tell you that they always went to the Barbie doll, full face beard. You know what I mean? That they just are sexually attracted, but or they have the feminine tendencies that you can mistake them for females. They walk better than the ladies that I know on the runway. They can do everything better than the women can. Matter of fact, they dress them up, show them how to be a woman. That's where we're at because they're so good at it. Because they can tap into, honey, this is how the men like it. Because they tapped into that male side, and you know what I mean. But they got the best of both worlds, and they're your best managers. They're your best because they, but they're very effeminate from naturally. That's not something you learn and just decide that you want to be. Some people can, but a lot of people that I see just have a natural, feminine. They're born with that. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the others that have this kind of trans thing where it's like they're not really feminine, but you can see that they're female, but they got kind of a masculine, you know what I'm saying, little thing to them. And then they're making decisions on, because they're dealing with that. So, but I think you had a comment up, Mel, from Brittany, I think.
Yeah. We going to get into that?
It says people who live as their natural gender should respect those who choose a different gender, basically. Sure. But why should people who live as their natural gender have to suffer and compromise to such an extent? And this is she's probably saying that because we said it was bully tactics. And so now the people who work really hard, like you said, Juice, you got a female that gets smacked by a transgender that was once a male, but I don't know. All of that's out the window in my book. You know what I'm saying?
Amy,
Sahur.
Okay. Amy says this: let's be very careful comparing women's rights to this current situation. It's a slippery slope.
The reason why I even brought that up is because that's what the commencement started. Setting precedents about what Dave said, what women were saying that they didn't have rights for, and it's fine. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things, for pay and all the other things. Sure, we can sit at a table and discuss this. But now, other people who had other things going on with them said, "Hey, we're a minor class in this society. We want to rise up." And so, how they do that? Even the homosexual rights, they were comparing themselves to blacks, saying that like we suffer like blacks suffer. And I'm like, so you have 400 years of plus years of hate and killing and torture. Yeah, I don't discount anything that people go through. You understand? But you set a precedent, and now it's going to expound to who knows what.
Hey, we're born with and classified socially as being what? Black, right?
Yeah.
Can we just say that? Hey, man, you know what, Tom, I do. Can we just switch over because we feel like I can really relate to something that I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Keelan,
can you wake up tomorrow and be a regular white guy?
Everyone knows.
Thank you. Yes.
Transracial. I'm transracial. My other alter ego is Charles Wellington III. And when I'm on the phone, that's who I am.
Good job, because you got to do what you got to do.
But now,
but it sounds somewhat ridiculous that Keelan Walker is gonna put on his application that he's white. And then people are going to debate me on that. But then it's like, but nah, I am white. Respect me. Respect that. And all we're doing is just classifying, is classifications of how do you say, of individuals. Yeah. Your individual classification. But it's simple though. Male, female, white, black, Asian, how we just keep the simple classification for those who have a different situation that they were born with, that shouldn't be mixed into the already preset classes. That's something else. They shouldn't be using a male or female. That's a different bathroom for them. What's wrong? Because now my son's gotta go to daycare, and this is no joke, and watch the only man in the school predominantly are maybe one other guy, black guy, and he's a obvious man, voice sounds like a man, but he's got nails. He's got a whole nail job. And so when he's showing my son how to do things and how to fix it, because that's what you're doing, teaching the kids. What does my son do? He's associating what he sees his mom with his aunt with his sisters with, whatever, with, wait a second. So this is what I'm saying. What about the innocent mind that where you teach them that's black, that's white, that's the boys' bathroom, that's the girls' bathroom. How do we do this thing?
This is where we are, though. This is where we are. How do we get to a place of understanding and respect? Everybody's silent. Let me get into this comment real quick. John, trans people should compete against other trans people. I didn't even think about that. It's like boxing. No lightweight would compete against a heavyweight. It would be fair to the lightweight.
It wouldn't be.
They can't compete amongst others of their ink. He doesn't mean any harm by this neither.
Yeah, so this is what we're saying about classification. We already said he broke it down more. We said this. They should have their own thing instead of bullying everybody. Now states got to change the laws. We got to bend the rules. We're not unacknowledging them. We understand that. But when you're infringing on something that's already set, and it's already in its purest form, as long as there's no racial stuff in there, and you want to form something different, let's do that. Let's leave what we have set and let's form that different thing over here on the side. That's including you, but that is not going to be good enough though, right? Because they want to identify as full-blown female, and like you said, they smoking the boots off these native born females that can actually give birth though, and that's been going to the girls' bathroom.
It's interesting. Go ahead, Juice.
No, I was just gonna state to piggyback off what we said about infringing. I'm so glad that we're not Canada, but we're slowly getting there. The reason being, without a parent's permission, they can teach your child about being transgender and saying that you could be 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, and make your own choice. And I know they say it's not about sexuality, but when you as a parent, and I'm not a parent as yet that I know of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, as a parent, you should be the one teaching your child about sexuality and about, what's proper and prim, and, because it's your household, right? But the school now takes the school now takes the authority to teach your child about something that you should be teaching them. And so now when your child comes home and says, and as you stated, Keelan, he sees a man with painted nails, he can say, hey, daddy, I want to paint my nails. Hey, mommy, I want to paint my nails. Now, what are you going to tell him? You tell him no, that could cause a whole spiral now. He's like, well, how come? And that's causing more confusion in his mind. That's causing him to be kind of off. Like, well, if this man can do it and daddy tells me no, but I see mommy do it and I love mommy, so I want to be like mommy. You know what I'm saying? Like when does it stop? And nothing against if your child chooses to be whatever they want to do when they're an adult. You know what I mean?
Right.
That they chose for themselves. But as a child under someone's roof and tutelage, we have to respect the parents' choices, correct? Or maybe I'm wrong off of this. I mean, anyone can chime in, you know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have kids that I know.
I'm a firm believer in that, respecting. You know, listen. You do have to respect the child's choice, but at the same time, when you're under a house or a rule of a house of your parents, you know, you got to go with when in Rome. You got to do what the Romans do. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect my daughter to do anything opposite. When she was younger, as my daughter is now a young adult, you know, 20 years old, you know, she makes a lot of the decisions, and I tell her to make the best ones. And even though they're not always the best, but you know, she's a young adult. She got to make these mistakes, right? But as she was younger, you know, it was important for her to understand that, you know, this is our, you know, this is what we believe, and this is how we're bringing you up. What you do outside of that, when you get to a certain age, then you know,
look. The Bible says, I say this all the time, that the Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go, the way that they should go.
Yeah.
For they will not depart from. That just means that when you're training up a child in the way that they should go, and you got to get back to Tiffany's comment in a second. She said something, but we got to touch on.
You know, but she answered it.
Okay, well, hold on. But so in the way that they should go, that means that when they get older, that they're not going to depart from what they were taught. So they're gonna measure their decision against what they were taught, whether they decide to go left or right. So, you know, just because you're raised in the Christian home and the Bible home and all these different things, you're that doesn't guarantee you anything, but they will have that foundation on what they should be doing. They should be, and they have a sense of measuring against what is right and wrong, you know, or how they were brought up in the decision that they're making. So that's what the training, but you know, society is training too. So we're training and balancing and calibrating the minds of our kids. You know what I'm saying? Yo, those comments, Mel, get back to those comments. Tiff said something.
Yeah, I want to get back into it because I think Tiffany had made a statement, and she clarified what she said, and you know.
Okay, because you know.
Yeah. She says this. Let's just go back. The ability to give birth does not make you a woman. And then Brittany Mickey came and said birthing people. But let's go back. I think it was something prior to that. Oh, she asked us to elaborate. Can you elaborate?
I think she was talking to Tiffany.
Yeah, but then Tiffany came back and said not all women can give birth, and the inability does not make them not a woman. So to be very clear, she's right.
Well, that's being very technical. We're just talking about in the general sense, female, you know, fetus, male, a male or mankind that has the ability to carry a fetus is known as a female. We're all mankind, right. But there is a different sex or a different makeup of the descendants of Eve, if you will, that has a fetus, or a womb to carry a fetus. And that's why we call them female. Now, if you're not able to give birth, there is an issue with your system that's not allowing for you to give birth. We understand that, but I mean, I don't know why Tiff, if you want to call in, did you really need to say that, or is that confusing? Yeah. We know that already. But generally, females, we identify. They give offspring, and we all pass through the matrix of a female. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
Men don't give. So there's your identifier right there. Aside from which bathroom are you using?
John Mickles says this. John Mickles says, "I used to be a foster parent. Policy is if a male child wants to wear a dress or play with dolls, you have to purchase said items and allow the behavior. That means that it's the state's sponsored. Yet this child cannot vote, drive, or work based on his age. yet they can make a reservation life-altering decision. So,
is John? Are you talking about in California or in Texas, or North Carolina, or New York? Where are you talking about that at? I get it, but you know, every state is you saying every state is like that? Because
no, I think he's saying that, you know, just the fact that his state mandated that.
I wonder what state sponsoring it. Yeah, but you have other states that. But I get what he's saying. But Louisiana. Everybody doesn't. Every state doesn't see it. Louisiana. Yeah, I don't know nothing about Louisiana, but that's crazy. That's crazy, John. That's wow, man.
It's a very interesting topic. It's a very, very interesting topic, man. This has been one for the books, fellas.
Yeah, man. Anybody else want to call in? What happened, Siobhan?
Man, listen, I left it up tonight because I really wanted people to call in. I wanted some people to weigh in on this particular topic via phone. You know, we always like to engage, you know, with people via phone. And, you know, hardly people love to comment on the show, which is great. Fellas, but I think right now what we need to do, we're going to part ways in a minute, but I'm sending this clarion call out to all women. Fellas, we need a woman on the show. So right now we're looking for a woman to come join in our cast here at the lovely Blackout Radio. Shout out to everybody that came through today. All of my homeboys from New Raw that came through. Tracy Jackson, Malik Turner. It was good to see y'all today. We had a great conversation starting off the show. We need a woman, though, fellas. We need a woman to balance us out a little bit. I love agree, man. Women's comment this. They're all in the comment section now.
Yeah. Yo, they be talking so well, though. You
support Blackout Radio.
You know,
Cash App Blackout Radio. Cash App Blackout Radio 19. Support this platform. Also, we got merchandise. Please hit me in my inbox if you want some merch. Blackout Radio t-shirts / sweaters. It's getting hot outside. You're going to want a Blackout Radio tee. You know what I'm saying? You're going to want a t-shirt that says Blackout Radio. Support the show. Every Wednesdays, we're changing the time to 8 o'clock. Make sure you support us. We also have masks. I know the mask mandate is winding down, but please, let me see it. Okay. We did make a few masks. The mask mandate is winding down. So, but we still have masks. We have a few shirts. Please make sure you support this Blackout Radio. We a platform trying to grow and trying to do some great things here. Interesting topics, interesting conversations. Support Blackout Radio. Seriously. Let me let them get into it in the comment section.
You know what? I think Tiffany should be our new co-host. She speaks so eloquently.
Right now. Tiffany, ask her right now.
Tiffany French, Jaw for golf. Me, Juice, your friend, nominate you as tribute to be on Blackout Radio. I would love to be on here with you.
Big shout out to my cousin Biggie. Shout out to my big cousin Biggie, man. He's on here. Straight up. I got you, Biggie. I'm going to get you a shirt. I got you. Blackout Radio shirt all day long. I got you. What did you say? What did you say to Tiffany? Juice?
I said, Tiffany, I nominate you as tribute to join the Blackout Radio family.
Wait a minute. Look at this. Everybody, yes, I vote Tiffany.
Everyone's saying Tiffany should come.
Yes,
you know,
Tiffany.
We have a good rapport. Yeah. You know, I love you, sis. You know, I love you, sis. But, I mean, any topic, not just this topic, you know.
Listen.
Let's do it. Let's talk about black real estate. Let's do it, sis. Come on.
Listen, not for nothing. She knows. Tiff knows how much I love her and how much, you know, I hit her and we have, you know, we kick it all the time. And I actually, she knows soon. Y'all might see her soon. Let me just say that. You might see us. Can I say that, Tiff? We might see you soon. The consensus is Tiffany here, man.
It's very apparent, man. She's loyal to the show. You know, she be lighting up the comments. She's loyal. And she keeps her position. She don't care what nobody says. She'll fire back. You gotta love Tiff.
I'm gonna pray for your courage, sis, because you know what? You can do this.
I'm building my courage. Oh man, she's got it, man.
Nah, she does have it.
Look at that
She's
smile.
a smart
Look at that
black
smile on that
woman,
little
man.
picture. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, she is, man.
Come on, Tiff.
Well, today I want to do this, man. Before we get out of here, today's been a great time. Today's been a great convo, great show today, fellas. Thank y'all as always, man. These are my boys. This is the crew of Blackout Radio here. Hopefully, we'll have a female joining us soon. If you don't know, we're going to be moving out of this location. I want to just give one more shout out to my boy Levi Hodges for always coming through, making it happen with the tech. I don't know. Let me tell you something. Y'all know Blackout Radio started with me sitting in front of the iPad. If y'all look around, we are not on the iPad anymore. This is a whole nother type of production. Give my man Levi a hand. Yeah. If we was to turn this thing around, I'm telling you, y'all will be shocked at how it looks in here. This man is phenomenal. If you need any kind of tech work, videography, camera work, you need some photos, you need editing, sound, please check Levi Hodges, Kingdom Minded Media. And I said ministry, I mean that. So make sure you check him out. You know, oh man, I can't believe that. I messed up and deleted the actual tab just now. Can you believe that? www.kingdommindedmedia.com. Check him out. What's the number, Levi? 904-236-9961. Make sure y'all check him out. Today, before we get out of here, we do have a tribute, man, for one of my brothers and my friends. A few years ago, we lost a loved. How can I say this, man? This is just thinking about it. You know, we lost a giant of a brother a few years back, and when I say this is one of the most lovable brothers that you can never really want to know. When I say he was a friend, he was a brother, he was family. And when I say he left here, man, he left a chunk out of everybody's heart. And today is his birthday, and I want to wish a huge, huge, huge happy birthday to my friend Billy Lacroix. If you don't know, this is Juice's baby brother, and this is one of Juice's best friends. If you've seen Juice, you've seen Billy. You hear me? If you've seen Juice, you've seen Billy. And so I want to wish my brother a happy heavenly birthday. We constantly think about him. We are constantly talking about him. And I wish he was here with us today to see what we got going on. The future seems a little dimmer when he's not here, knowing that when we get together, he was always here. He was always here. And so we love him and we miss him. And Juice, go ahead. I'm going to let you say something.
I got nothing to say, bro. Just, you know, he's missed.
Go ahead, Key.
Yo, Billy, man, I you know, and I didn't get a chance to speak at the funeral or anything. You know, my memories of Billy, I never saw him without a smile on his face. You know, we always talked about music, drums. He's practicing, getting better. You know, it's very challenging to, and I know kind of life goes on. We know a few of our friends that have moved on, but it's very challenging to see one of our own, one of our peers, one of our generation age transition. You know, I have a twin brother. I couldn't imagine, you know, they were closer. Juice and Billy were closer than me and my own twin brother. And I can't, you know, really imagine what it would be like, you know, without him. So, you know, much love to the family. You know, Billy's not forgotten. He left the right way. I know nobody had anything bad to say about him. I know that, you know, a good brother, man, you know, and he's definitely missed. Juicy, man. You're constantly in our hearts and prayers and our minds, my brother.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Big Bill. We love you. We love you, man, and we miss you dearly. We dedicate this show to you. I know if you was here, you would be on the show, and we would have a time.
That's right.
What a time we would have. And sure enough, after the show, we would. What a time we would have.
That's right.
So everybody in the comments, make sure you wish Billy a happy birthday today. We miss him, and hopefully this weekend we get together. We're gonna eat some Haitian food. We're gonna get us some montasso, some legume, some jonjon, and we're gonna eat up like if Billy was here. We're gonna eat good. You know what I mean? Listen, you know my motto: may you live as long as you want, and one for nothing as long as you live. And may you live to be 100, and me 100 minus a day. That way I never know great people like you have passed away. I love y'all. There's not a thing you can do about it. We're going to get out of here. Make sure you support Blackout Radio. If you don't have the merch, hit me up for merch. Make sure you support the Cash App. This show has to keep growing. Make sure you do what you got to do. I love y'all. Keelan, Juice. Until next week, we out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Shout out to everybody. Welcome to Blackout Radio, everybody. If you're new to this platform, make sure you subscribe. Exactly where I'm going to go with it.
Beyond that,
voting absolutely is important. It is important, and I think we only get to see the. If you're not aware, let us invite my guest co-host. We might show y'all. My boy Juice is here. He's going to shout out Black.
Tune into the show if you're ready for these topics. Melly on the mic is no stopping. Have a couple laughs, sometimes they get serious. Say what's on your mind, you can speak up if you're curious. This Blackout Radio, better than your favorite show. They gon' talk about it, that's regardless if you hate it though.
Nah, they ain't ready.
Are you ready for this? Start at 7 on the dot. Are you ready for this? This that Blackout Radio. This that Blackout Radio. This that Blackout Radio. This that Blackout Radio. It's that Blackout Radio. It's that Blackout Radio. It's that Blackout Radio. It's that Blackout Radio.